Nice. Welcome to KingPlayer TV. Today, special guest. This guy's been around for a little while, so he knows a thing or two about that guitar he's holding. Might be my favorite guitar that I think I've seen in the last little while. So,
thanks.
But anyway, we'd like to let everybody know who we have in the guitar room, and we'd like to let them introduce themselves. So without further ado, tell us who you are, why you were here today in the guitar room.
All right. Well, I'm Bob Stevens, and I'm here because you were nice enough to have me.
There you go. So we start this thing off usually with the what, the whys, the whens, and the how. So what made you get started in music? Why'd you do it? And how long you been playing?
Well, my dad actually got me started in music when I was a little kid. Him and his buddies used to play guitar.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just around it as a little kid, and he was more of a rhythm player, and then I wanted to play lead, so I just kind of figured it out on my own, and
Well, I've seen you around, so you got a little bit of both mastered. So.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So you mentioned your dad.
Right.
Who influenced you as far as music goes locally?
Locally, as a kid, seeing like Bobby May, guys like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many. Borelli, guys like that. I'd go out and see them.
There's a lot.
There's so many. There's so many great players in town, and then I've been fortunate enough to live in Nashville. I was in Phoenix, and so you had a lot of like New York guys that I got to play with in Phoenix, and Nashville, obviously.
Nashville's a different,
the players,
animal
yes,
there.
Yeah.
I was just talking to someone the other day when I went to Nashville a couple years ago. From 6 a.m. to 6 a.m. There's music.
Oh yeah.
And there's guitar players.
Oh yeah.
There's a different language there.
I got to work at Gibson.
Yeah.
So when I was down there, so that was kind of cool too.
Yeah. Great stories.
Yeah.
Great time.
Oh, yeah.
Great time. How about overall? Who inspired you early on, national wise?
Honestly, probably Hendrix. I mean, he's like the original rock and roll guy.
The benchmark.
He did things that nobody was doing, and then you've got Stevie Ray, obviously metal side like Van Halen, and then you've got Satriani guys, you've got Eric Johnson, the tone guy.
Yeah.
So all the players, and then you've Alan Holdsworth, guys like that. When you start getting on the outside, they're just amazing, and then you've got the chicken picker guys.
Yeah.
That stuff is just a whole other world unto itself.
No doubt.
There's so many facets to guitar. That's what's cool about it.
Sure.
Different styles.
Yeah, different styles, different brands. We talked about that off camera, how each guitar tells a story.
Oh yeah.
And it lends itself to a different song or a different genre. So that's why you're supposed to have more than 3.
Yeah. Yes. I would agree with that.
So you've been around the scene for a while. You've been solo. You've been playing in bands. Talk to me about the experience between playing solo and playing in a band.
Well, a band is great, especially when you find a group of guys or whoever's in the band, gals that you just click with, and there's that magic. Solo for me has been something that I've wanted to do for a long time. Finally, just said, hey, I'm going to do this, and for me it's been great because I'm busier now than ever, and when I do get the band gigs, I get to hire in who I want, which is great. So you get this, you get to experience a lot of different players, a lot of different styles, depending on who comes in and jams with you. The band thing is great when you get, a group that you can stay together and it's, you make that magic.
Mhm.
There's something about a set group that you get that too, but
Sure.
it's the times are a little different. I think everybody's kind of doing a solo thing and then you hire in whoever. It's not like back in the day we'd have huge clubs. We played for 2,000 people a night.
Yeah.
In this town, but those days are gone. It's
Sure.
a little different. So
Sure. I was just talking to someone the other day, and he is this weekend in Detroit.
Yeah.
They hired him
Yeah.
to go and play and sit in
yeah,
simply by social media contacting him,
Yeah.
and he's there and he's doing it a couple times a month. So
oh, that's awesome.
that's
yeah.
that concept is
Yeah.
working.
Oh yeah,
It's
Oh,
working.
yeah.
It's working. Give me a funny experience overall in the last 10 years playing in a group.
Playing in a group. Well, to experience more of a story, one of the bass players I used to work with, Mike, he just bought a brand new bass.
Okay.
And he wasn't going to buy a case for it. I said, hey, you should really buy a hard shell case. No, I don't need it. Just spend the extra $50, buy the case.
Yeah.
All right. So then we're leaving the gig. He's loading up, leaves his bass underneath the minivan. He backs over it. Good thing he had the hard shell case.
Right.
That's one of those things you laugh out. That's what you
As long as you open the case,
Yeah.
it's still intact.
It was perfectly fine.
Is that right?
So yeah, he always bought a hard shell case after that.
There you go. There you go. How about solo act? Give me a funny story as a solo act.
I don't know any funny stories. Just it's just more. It's nice to actually connect with people. Sometimes when you're in a band, you don't actually get to connect to the people. You're just playing guitar or whatnot. But when it's just you get a chance to go and talk to everybody. And especially I think if you're singing, people tend to respond to you a bit more than if you're just playing.
Yeah.
Which is kind of nice because you get to meet all these people. I've seen some of them for a long time, but until I started doing my own thing, I really didn't know them or meet them. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like you just get to experience a lot of different people, hear a lot of great stories,
Yeah.
and just meet a lot of good people. So,
I would tend to think, and I've never done the solo thing, but I would tend to think your confidence level has to be at a different level because you're vulnerable in that moment with just you and that guitar,
yeah.
lyric wise,
Oh, yeah.
music wise.
Yeah. I agree with that. It's I don't think it's something, no matter how long you've been doing it, I think if you don't have those butterflies, that's the wrong approach. You still need to have that little bit of anxiousness, and
Yeah.
you got to go up there and do what you do.
Gotcha.
And it does make you more confident, but it's really, for me, it's been enjoying learning the craft, learning vocals, learning my guitar in a different way, because all eyes are on you, and not only that, you can go up there and just play and sing, but people like to be entertained too, so you're wearing a bunch of different hats now that you never had to wear before, so it's a good learning experience for everybody. So.
Good deal. So you mentioned Hendrix.
Mhm.
We all have those great influences
Oh, sure.
coming up, playing guitar. But the tougher question could be, at the moment, who would you consider as your favorite artist?
Favorite artist? Again, that's a tough one. My musical genres that I like are so across the board. I can't just pick one.
Yeah.
Because that would be like picking my favorite guitar.
Give me top three.
I can't even do that. It depends on the day, what mood I'm in, what I'm listening to. Am I listening to country, more rock?
Yeah.
Honestly, can't say.
Well, let's do this. If we walked to your car
Mhm.
and turned on the radio, what would be in your playlist right now?
Probably right now I've been listening to a bit more country lately, I guess.
Yeah.
So some of the new artists and whatnot, but there's not one definitive thing, and I just kind of scan the stations a lot just to hear what's new, what's coming up, and there's just so many outlets to get your music these days.
Sure.
Whether even online.
Sure.
Sometimes YouTube, you discover something that's just like,
Yeah.
just blows your mind. You're like, how did they do that?
Right. I country music to me, not only lyrically, musically, but even guitar players tell stories.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
If you listen to country music today,
Yeah.
they're sneaky.
Yeah.
Those guitar players.
Yeah.
I mean, they're session guys mostly.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, some of the ones that's been around for a while, Brad Paisley and Keith
Yeah.
Urban and those guys,
Yeah.
we know they play. But even just some of the up and coming country artists have those guitar players that
Oh,
are,
yeah.
wow, they tell stories, man.
Oh yeah, some
So-
amazing. I mean, I think good music though, whether it's vocally or musically, you should have a little bit of a journey, and it should take you somewhere. It should move you in some way.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That's kind of the whole point.
Yeah.
You got 3 minutes to take somebody on a journey.
Yeah.
You know, to make them feel something or experience something within the confines of the song. That's what's amazing. That's
Yeah.
the power of music.
That's right. And I remember hearing Eric Clapton a long time ago say, I'm not the fastest guy, but I will sting you consistently with 2 notes.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing too. As guitar players, you have those, like, you know, you like to play, you like to shred, but you're right. B.B. King, he was the master.
Yeah.
2 notes and bend them off the fretboard.
Right.
But he said so much with that.
Make
So
you understand.
That's
Yeah.
that's amazing.
So, overall, and I know you have an eclectic, taste for music. What music inspires you right now?
Music inspires me. Inspires me. I guess for me, it's not so much music. It's me sitting down. I'm in a writing phase right now.
Oh.
I've had a couple people contact me that have wanted to co-write, so I've been working on some projects doing that. So, kind of inspiring. It sounds kind of funny, but sometimes taking some time away from it.
Mm.
When I'm writing, then you pick it up, then it's fresh and creative. Sometimes when, as we all do, we're all working a lot, we're playing a lot,
Sure.
maybe 5 nights a week. So sometimes it's nice to just kind of put it down for the writing side, because that's a whole different aspect of music, and so you want it to be creative and fresh. So sometimes kind of working on that, to put it down for a little bit, and pick it up, and then start writing and come from a fresh perspective,
Yeah, it does make it feel anew
Yes.
when you put it down for a couple of days. Although it's hard for me sometimes.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well,
Especially if a song comes on,
Right.
and it's a
Right.
familiar song, and the
You
song
just-
is like, I better.
Yeah.
Let me get past this 2 minutes and 38 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
I will tell you this though. The other day I discovered Gary Clark's been around for a while. Gary Clark
yeah.
Jr.
Yeah.
But he has a new song called Pearl Cadillac.
Okay.
I seen it live at the Aztec Theater.
Awesome.
You turn that song on,
Yeah.
you're gonna want to play some guitar, buddy.
Well, you know what? I'll have to check that out, because my buddy at Gibson, the SG, the yellow
Yeah.
SG,
Yeah.
he actually set that up for Gary.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Pearl Cadillac.
Okay,
It's
I'll have to
live,
check
and
that out.
you don't typically get that kind of emotion in any genre of music except country music.
Okay.
So when you listen to
Yeah.
this song,
I will check that
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
That's awesome.
what's your thoughts on the current music scene locally?
I think it's great. It's actually blooming. It's probably busier than it's ever been, which is good. It means there's a lot of work for everybody, and I think it's like anything else, with so much, everybody, you pay your dues, and then you move up,
Right.
And that's, I think that's the current state. It's just good to see everybody so involved.
Yeah.
Obviously like Chad,
Yeah.
supporting music. He's done a lot for the
Right.
local scene and just everybody,
Yeah. It's
So-
coming along great.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of us in it forever, and it's nice to see more support just in general,
Yeah. I remember coming up, and what I consider, now that I'm getting up there, I consider back then coming up as the golden era of gigs everywhere, plentiful gigs that played and paid
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
This era here is the youngsters' golden age, where
Yeah.
it's a different kind of era. Well, there's a lot of places to play.
Sure.
It just feels different.
Yeah.
But it has returned itself back to when you and I were coming along, where
Oh, yeah.
there's more places.
But like I said, it's different now. It's
Yeah,
not like
right.
you're going to take your 5-6 piece band and it's the venues aren't really set up. There's only a few
Exactly.
compared to the day, which is great. Those venues are holding that line, but there's a lot more solo, duo,
Right.
small trio things opening up. So that's what's different, I think. There
Mhm.
used to be a lot more bigger clubs,
Correct.
and who knows, that everything always changes. Maybe they'll come back around
Yeah.
that way, but it's just good to see everybody out and working. So
Yeah, and all nights of the week, not
Yeah.
just the weekend.
oh yeah,
So any night of the week.
That's been it's been amazing.
So we're gonna put you in front of a panel of judges, and they're gonna say, "Okay, Bob Stevens, we see you with that nice Paul Reed Smith guitar. We're gonna ask you to play your favorite lick. if your life depended on it, or your favorite song, what's it gonna be?
Honestly, favorite lick or something like that would be just me noodling. That's what's it's like discovery, you know. Every time you sit down, you just kind of get lost in an idea, and then it's nice to see where it goes.
Sure.
And then you come on, you're like, that was kind of neat. So then maybe you might write a song out of that, you know. But I think that the process of getting lost in your own head while you're playing is what breeds creativity. You know what I mean? Rather than, you know, it's hard for me. I'm a guy who rarely plays the same thing twice, or try not to. I'm sure we all have our go-to licks, but that's kind of half the fun for me. Yeah. Where can I take it this time? What a new spin can you put on it, you know?
That's why you always have the recorder on.
Yes,
because if you go to sleep and you don't record it,
that's it.
Once it's out there,
once it hits from the brain to the fingers, it's gone if you don't record it.
There you go. So a couple more questions. We won't keep you too long, but at some point, I think you talked to me off camera about your collection of guitars.
Yes.
Has that dwindled? Has it increased? How's that going?
Well, it's changed over the years. You know, a lot more probably custom stuff these days, which is nice. Sure. Been lucky enough to have some good contacts, people to help me out with that. You know, anything from Reverends, which I've got this sparkle telly that I just love from those guys. Gibsons, obviously from working there, and Strat telly guy, always been that. Yeah. The PRS thing is a bit new for me, but this one was just it's one of those things you had to have it. I'm glad that I was able to get it. So.
Yeah, I have a black one. They're moody. I mean, she's sexy, but she's moody. So you have to make sure you're gonna pay special attention to her if you're gonna get her out. She's quite moody.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing how they all play different as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we were talking about earlier. The fact that they play different is what gives you the different sounds. Mm-hmm. To me, tone is in your fingers. You got a lot of guys who just kind of noodle around, and that's great. But when you really want that sound, Hendrix or Johnson or Stevie Ray, guys like that, B.B. King, they dug into it. Yeah. They got something out of it. Yeah. So what you give to the guitar, it gives it back to you. You know, that's what sometimes is missing, but that's the amazing thing about different guitars. They give you that different push and pull, so you get the different sounds and different feels. That's
a great statement. As guitar players coming up, I mean, I'm sure you was the same way. We all chased that tone.
Sure.
We went from amp to amp to pedal to pedal. Now, as I'm, entrenched in this thing, it's just in what you hear and you translate through your fingers to the guitar.
Oh yeah. You know what's amazing? You have a guy come up and play your rig.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like you.
Right.
That says it all. It's not the gear. It's your fingers and what you do with it and how you adjust to it. You know. Right. It's pretty amazing that's what it boils down to. Yeah. You're right. We all do chase gear because it's kind of half the fun of being a guitar player. But it all comes down to your fingers. Either if it's not in there, and you just need to get that sound out.
I think the cool thing is too when you go someplace and you sit in, or you go someplace and they have their own amp because out of logistics or whatever. Sure. As soon as you plug yours in, your stuff in, and you still get your sound out of it, that's satisfying.
Yeah.
Because now maybe it's not the gear, maybe it's me.
Well, you're exactly right. But I'll tell you what, the most defining thing for every guitar player, and people seem to forget this these days, is that sounding like you. People need to know that's you when you're playing. You know what I mean? So you're right.
Yeah.
Your fingers, your tone, that is you. Nothing else defines a guitar player besides their sound. I mean, you could have 5 guys play the same licks, but it should sound different.
Right.
That's what defines you as a player, I think.
Very well stated. So we put you on a stranded island. What favorite piece of music you'll bring? And by the way, and the guitar, you got to bring one.
Bring one.
You got to bring one. Now we can't say CDs no more. You got to say digital download. So
sure.
Some streaming, but.
Hopefully just a streaming service, so I don't have just one.
There you go.
Guitars, I'd probably take one of my Gibson acoustics. I'm a big fan of the Gibby acoustics. Since I started, pretty much that. I love my Martins and Taylors. I like too, but the Gibson mini jumbos. The scale fits me. They've got a big sound. It's just always been a fan of them. So. Great.
Last question,
sure.
And then we'll let you go. And finish us out with some playing. Where can we find you nowadays? What's coming up? Talk to me about that. Talk to me about any social media platform you may have.
Sure. You can find me on Facebook under Bob Stevens, or Reverb Nation under Bob Stevens as well for Toledo area. Tonight I'm playing 5 to 8 out in Napoleon area, a winery, and then 10 to 1 at Doc Watson's with a bass player. I'm playing pretty much every night of the week, so if you go on my Facebook, you can see where I'm at.
Nice.
Band stuff coming up, which is pretty cool. A few of those, so it's just it's hard to keep up. You know, I'm very lucky to be as busy as I am. You know,
Well, luck's a little, but talent
yeah
has to play into that too.
Hopefully, we're all getting better. It's,
yeah.
You know, it's always a work in progress.
Well,
you're never happy with what you do. You know what I mean? That's the growth part.
Right. That's the happy, frustrated part.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
It's a little bit frustrating, but it's a happy because you can still reach.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And a quest to find something.
Yeah. That's true.
So, all right. Well, we appreciate you coming.
Oh, thanks for.
We're gonna let you play us out in a few minutes. Just keep in mind, everybody on YouTube, the KingPlayer TV is where the episodes are gonna be. Facebook is KP7. The Instagram is KingPlayer Official, and Twitter is KP71. Bob, again, thanks for coming out. You better hold on to that guitar because I might steal it. Go ahead and play us on the way out, and we'll see everybody next time.
Well, thanks for making me a KingPlayer.
All right.